Hi, and welcome to Runners Week, a new program here on ProView Sports. We'll be covering high school, cross country, and track and field. Right now, that means covering cross country. The first event we covered on this program, our inaugural program, was actually the first event. It was a cross country meet at Bosque High School that featured Sandia Prep, Menaul, Cuba, and Bosque Prep. And it was when the girls started at 10 o'clock last Saturday morning and that whistle blew. That was the moment that signaled the return to high school competition in New Mexico. And we'll have that moment for you here in just a little bit. It was nice because we haven't been back into high school competition since March 14th of 2020 when the state basketball tournament ended at the pit.
Brown will hold on to it. William Benjamin and the Las Cruces Bulldogs are the boys' 5A state champions.
To compete, athletes must sign in, they must have their temperature taken, and there are some other protocols to follow, including masks must be worn at all times, including social distancing, and no fans will be allowed. So that's why ProView Sports went out to Bosque School on Saturday to capture some highlights and bring you the results from February 27th. Before we get to the actual races and results, we wanted to talk to some of the administrators and coaches about the moment leading up to returning to actual competition, because there's a lot that led up to this moment. And the first thing we asked them was, how does it feel to be back? Competition, how does it feel?
Woo! That's how it feels. It feels amazing, and it's really exciting to see student athletes, coaches, all coming together to participate once again. Awesome.
I'm very pleased with this. This is an exciting morning for us to get started. I'm happy to be here at Bosque High School, and I'm ready to cheer on our athletes.
So everyone seems to be excited to be back. We hope that includes the athletes. We asked them about their student athletes.
It's been overflowing with gratitude. That's really what it's been about. I have amazing coaches who have kept all of our student athletes motivated and inspired through it all. And it's finally happening, and we couldn't be more proud to be hosting an event where we have coaches and student athletes from all over the area coming to run again.
It's been a lot of ups and downs, practicing and then getting shut down and then coming back. And right now we're just excited to be given the opportunity again and be able to show what we've been practicing all this time for.
It's been challenging. You know, we started last fall and nearly had a season, nearly had a meet, and it was cut short. And then it was postponed until December, and here we are in the spring. And it's been a while since the kids have competed, and we're really looking forward to it.
The return to competition is based on hybrid learning. So that's why the schools participating in this cross-country meet this morning will be private schools who have hybrid learning. APS, unfortunately, not allowed to have competition because they are all virtual learning. So we're glad to be here with the schools that have hybrid learning, and they are here to compete for the first time, as we said, in 11 and a half months. So this race itself came together kind of quickly, and so we asked a couple of people how this happened so fast. Who put this together?
This is just a bunch of people in Albuquerque getting together. We have Coach Ryan Fenton, who has done just a fabulous job of running our cross-country program, and he put the word out, and then we had as many schools as we could take participate today. So thanks to Coach Ryan and to his staff, including Coach Lauren, who's right over here, checking in student athletes and coaches to be able to participate today.
I think a lot of people had a play in it. We are lucky enough to have the beautiful Bosque here, so it just made sense that we can host it. We are able to. We have all this open space, and we're just happy to be able to host other schools and give them the opportunity as well.
And to be clear, so that we can continue to participate, what are the rules? Let's state them so everybody knows.
Absolutely. So mask wearing is critical. Everyone has to wear a mask. And you know what? If cross-country runners can wear a mask, pretty much anyone can be wearing a mask. And so that's the number one thing. The other thing is just to stay socially distant as much as possible. And in cross-country, we're staggering our starts where we have a start where all of the kids are socially distant at the start, and then by the time they get out there, they'll spread out. And so just, being apart from people is a big deal. So those two things for sure. And, for me personally, it's about having fun within these parameters. These parameters are here because we want everyone to stay safe. And so we're abiding by everything so that everyone can continue to participate in a safe way. Yeah, and we're not allowed to have spectators yet. I'm going to say the word yet, but that's all because we're trying to stay safe. And we're trying to limit the number of people in any one area. And so we're just really humbled to be, a part of someone's life that where they can participate. And I know that for me, when I was a student athlete, it was going to be really difficult for me to even get through high school without sports. And so I've talked to a number of student athletes who feel the same way. So we're just excited to have something to inspire our kids.
These are the same guidelines that the governor has sent out for the entire state, so everyone will be practicing social distancing while they're out here. Masks are required for competition, and sanitizing everything that they are using as far as their having their own water bottles, having their own supplies out here, and just basically making sure they're all being safe.
And overnight travel?
No overnight travel right now. All these schools are within driving distance of this facility right now this morning, so they're pretty close in proximity.
And spectators, what about the spectators?
No spectators right now. That's something that we cannot have at our events right now, but we're looking forward to our spectators joining us at some point in the future.
Do you have any special message for you, for your friends at the NMAA and the other coaches and administrators around the state of New Mexico as to how they've helped or responded or contributed to helping us all get through this so that we can arrive here today and able to try to compete again?
Yeah, I think us at the NMAA, we just want to thank everyone for their patience. We've all been in this together for the past 11 and a half months. Everyone has been more than willing to go above and beyond just to help us get started again and to make sure that we are able to have safe competitions during this time. We want to thank all the athletic directors that we've worked with, all of our coaches, all of our athletes, all of the parents, everyone just cooperating together to make sure we can get this started. And I especially want to thank everyone that I work with at the NMAA. We've been waiting for this to happen, and it's finally here, and we've just worked so hard over the past 11 and a half months just to make sure we can get here.
It's kind of funny, though, how you're going to enforce that no spectator rule on a 2.5-mile course.
It's true. It's true. Gonna do my best. I mean, after we check in, everybody, I'm gonna be, the enforcer. So I'm gonna be going around making sure everyone is staying socially distant. Now, of course, covering 3 miles. I don't know that I'll be able to cover everything and everyone, but I'm gonna do my best.
Most importantly, we wanted to ask about the masks. It certainly is unusual, and athletes will be required to wear them even during the competition.
I think the times will be slower, and that's for a number of reasons. I think, the shortened season, the limitations on meeting, the mask as well, but I think that the ability to train consistently is probably more detrimental to performance. Masks definitely don't help, but they've been running in them since day one of all this, been almost a year, so they're used to it, and they'll adapt.
We're just getting used to it during practice, and the way I see it, everyone has the same circumstance, so we'll all just wear masks together, and as long as we're all doing it together, it's a fair race.
When we finally hear that whistle signaling the start of the race and the return to competition in New Mexico, how do you think you're going to feel?
I'm actually going to feel so much gratitude. And there were a lot of people that made this happen. A lot of people. I'm going to feel so grateful. And we're just trying to do the best we can. And I know having this opportunity means so much to so many people. And so I'm just going to have really a heart full of gratitude when that start happens.
We'll have the girls' race for you coming up next, right here on Runners Week on ProView Sports.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Welcome back to Runners Week, new program here on ProView Networks. In fact, this is our inaugural episode. We'll be covering cross country and track and field, and right now that means cross country. We're at the Bosque meet from Saturday, February 27th, and before we begin the race, return to competition in New Mexico, let's learn a little bit about this beautiful course that goes through the Bosque and around the campus here at the Bosque School from head coach Ryan Fenton.
A typical high school cross-country course is a 5K that's just a little over 3 miles.
And the course today is your typical Bosque course that you have for normal meets?
Yes, it is our regular home meet course. It meanders through the woods, around the track. It's quite a beautiful course, one of the best in the state.
So what's the most challenging part? I mean, the end of the race always tough, but any particular challenge part of this course?
I would say the woods. You kind of just are meandering through the woods in the middle of the race, and it's easy to just let your mind lapse and kind of get too relaxed.
So no challenging inclines or declines really on this course?
Nope, we're right in the middle of the Bosque here, so everything is really flat.
4 teams will be running this morning. Bosque, Sandia Prep, Menaul and Cuba. You see the social distancing at the start of the race. Each runner 6 feet apart along the start line. And ladies and gentlemen, we are about to return to high school athletic competition. The whistle is the moment when sports return to New Mexico. The long, wide, straight start at the beginning is designed to let social distancing occur naturally within the race and on the course. They figure by the time the runners get to the end of this long, wide straightaway, there'll be some natural separation within the field. It is a beautiful course on a nice winter morning along the Bosque in Albuquerque. It is a big course, 3.1 miles. So we caught the runners as they came through this intersection. They'll pass by through here twice. First, we see them coming out of the woods as they run north. This is actually one of the inclines on an otherwise very flat Bosque course. And we see the runners then heading back to the south into the woods for the final leg, and then they'll turn around and come back through this intersection. This is about the 2-mile mark. Very nice Saturday morning to return to athletic competition in New Mexico. And as Coach Ryan Fenton said, it's a beautiful course. One of the dangers is just getting lost in the beauty of it. And here comes our first finisher. This is going to be Sydney Herrenberg from Sandia Prep. Led from start to finish. She's going to finish at 25:42. Second on the girls' race will be Ella Adams. She'll finish second with a time of 27 minutes even.
Nice. Way to go, Cub. Wow, you look so good the whole time. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The final team result from the girls' race this morning. Sandia Prep, their first three runners finished first, third, and 11th for a total of 15 points. Bosque's first three runners finished second, 8th, and 9th. That's a total of 19. Menaul third this morning. Their first three runners finished 5th, 6th, and 12th for a total of 23. And Cuba, they scored with their first three runners coming in at 7, 13, and 14th. Their team total 34 today. So there is the first athletic competition in New Mexico in 11 and a half months. We caught up with the winner to ask her how she felt and congratulate her on her win.
It felt pretty amazing. I definitely felt a little guilty because of the APS kids, but overall it was pretty amazing.
During the race, we saw a few of the runners fidgeting with their masks. We know it limits the air intake, but was it a little inconvenient?
Overall, I think that my coaches prepared me pretty well because we had to practice this entire time with a mask, and it definitely kept falling down, but I just had to pull it back up. It wasn't that hard.
You led this race from start to finish. Was that your plan?
Yeah, that was kind of the plan today. It definitely was not like that last year. I definitely had to work for that, but yeah.
What was your time today?
Today I think it was around 25, but they did inform me that the course was a bit longer than a 5K, so I'm not too mad about it.
Congratulations and thank you, Sydney Herrenberg, and congratulations to your team as well, Sandia Prep Sun Devils. Stay tuned because coming up next on Runners Week, we'll have the boys race for you.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Welcome back to Runners Week here on ProView Sports. In this third and final segment, we'll have the boys race for you, which featured the host team, Bosque, as well as Sandia Prep and Cuba. Here at the starting line, you see the same social distancing. They try to get as far apart from each other on the starting line as possible. So here we have a chance to see this long, wide straightaway do its thing. The design on the course here is to create some natural social distancing. The reason being that by the time the runners reach the end of this long straightaway, there will be some natural separation in the field and therefore some social distancing. We pick up the runners as they make their way north out of the woods. That man on the bicycle is not a pace bicycle. That's actually Bosque head coach Ryan Fenton on the bicycle, and he is showing the runners the way, leading the course. This is a wide open natural course on a gigantic space, and animals can wander onto the course, or sometimes people, or trees can fall down. All kinds of things can happen. So there's a guide dog, a lead dog, as it were, Coach Ryan Fenton there on the bicycle. Next out of the woods was Taylor Quintana from Bosque, still looking good. And then we find Chad Cordova from Sandia Prep running with his teammate Mac Manzanares. Both of those runners from Sandia Prep kind of pacing each other. Otherwise, there seems to be a lot of separation within this boys' field as they make their way, as we said, through the halfway part. Earlier, we mentioned that the gentleman on the bicycle is looking for obstacles and things in the way, as well as showing the runners the way of the course. An example of some of the wildlife. There's a porcupine right above us here in a tree right here at this intersection. As the runners make their way out of the woods, running south now, as they cross the intersection for the second time, they're about 2/3 of the way through the course. And again, it's Menaul and Cuba. And Taylor Quintana. And then Chad Cordova still running with Mac Manzanares. Menaul and Cuba did win the boys' race. He turned in a time this morning on this Bosque course of 21:43. Second was Taylor Quintana from Bosque. His time, 23:17. Third this morning will be Chad Cordova from Sandia Prep at 24:36. Right behind him, his teammate, Mac Manzanares, with a time today of 25:57. All four of those runners will score for their teams today. Final team results from the boys' race this morning. Sandia Prep, their first three runners finished first, third, and fourth. Almost a sweep for Sandia Prep. Their team total was 8 today. Bosque's first three runners finished second, 6th, and 11th. Their team total 19. And Cuba, their top three turned in at 5, 7, and 8 for a total of 20. We did catch up with the boys runner, Menaul and Cuba from Sandia Prep. Had a chance to congratulate him and ask him how it felt to be running again.
Feels amazing, honestly. Like me and the boys and coach have been putting in a lot of work. Ever since we went into lockdown, we were always following the guidelines, and just training, just waiting for this day. So it feels really nice.
You trained with the mask, but today you actually had a chance to compete with the mask on. How did it go?
It's definitely different. I would say it's a little bit more difficult, but with these times, I'm just glad to be able to run. And so it's a sacrifice like we're all willing to make.
You led this race from start to finish. Congratulations. Was that your plan?
I don't know. I'm not really used to being in the front. So I don't really have a plan. Today, me and coach just talked and we just said, go out at a speed that feels right. And that's what I tried to do. And that resulted in me being in the front. So I guess we'll have to see in the future what my plan is.
There were no spectators on the course today, and you're running in the winter instead of the fall. Can you tell us a little bit about those differences across country this season?
I'm just glad to be running. Like the spectators, it's nice to have like my mom and my brother here and like everyone who supports me and like, the people who build me up to get to the point I'm at. But, this is a sacrifice we're willing to make just to get to compete. And, my mom and brother were on top of the bridge just from the outside, and so I got to see them. So I was just happy about that. So it works out at the end.
It's obvious Menaul is doing very well. So we asked him about his Sandia Prep Sun Devil teammates.
I think that we're all very excited. I think we had a great race as a team today. Chad and Mac and Javen too. Chad and Mac came in 3rd and 4th. Javen just came in right now, and we're just we're excited. We've been putting in the work, and we're glad to see it pay off finally.
He, like us, we're not exactly sure what's next. I mean, this meet came together in just a couple of days. We're glad to be here, and we hope there is something on the horizon. What do you know?
I have no idea. Everything's kind of up in the air still. So like we knew, or this race got finalized like on Wednesday. So we really don't even know, but I think next Saturday we're supposed to have a race. I don't know where.
Granted, things are weird, and it was enjoyable watching you run today, but do you agree with the guidelines, and are you willing to continue to cooperate with them?
Yeah, you know, like I don't really know what the guidelines are. I just kind of do what I'm told, but they seem fair and they seem like they're trying to protect everyone. So at the end of the day, that's what matters most.
They ran really well. I'm very proud of them. They had you know, it's been a long time coming, and they've been working for this for quite a while, and they ran really well as a team. Everyone ran well. A couple of surprises, and just proud of them for sticking with it and working hard even when we didn't have a season. And now we're back out here racing again. It's great. They ran well. Several, you know, smaller meets coming up, potentially one back here. District's only 2 weeks away, so very little time to prepare for that, but we might be racing back here. This is also the district course, so good to see the course and a couple of the teams in our district, and excited to be back here again.
They said the course was a little long today, like maybe 3.6.
Yeah, it is a little long. So times in comparison to last year don't really factor in. But it's a great course. It's actually pretty fast for as long as it is. And yeah.
So the extra length, did that have any effect on your racers?
I think it kind of caught the girls by surprise. I don't think they were prepared for it to be quite as long as it was. So. They were a little off guard by that, but the boys were more prepared for it, and they ran really well, adapted to it, and overcame.
Thank you to everyone who participated in this inaugural episode of Runners Week. We hope to bring it to you every week and cover the shortened cross-country season leading up to the state tournament. We would not be able to have been here if we weren't allowed to be, so we want to thank Janie Garcia, the athletic director at Bosque Schools, Coach Ryan Fenton, and of course the NMAA for setting the guidelines and allowing us to be here to capture the highlights and bring you the results, because one of the guidelines, no fans, so we're happy to be here, but only at the consideration of some of these other people, so thank you. Live events will return to ProView Network soon, but for now, thank you for watching Runners Week here on ProView Networks. I'm Dana Childs.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Hi, Dana Childs from ProView Sports with exciting news about a new programming coming your way beginning the first week of March. It's called Runners Week, and we'll cover high school track and field and cross country. We wanted to share this moment with you from our first cross country experience out at Bosque School on Saturday morning. We realized that when the whistle blew to start the girls' race at 10 a.m. Saturday morning, that whistle indicated the return of high school sports in New Mexico, and we wanted to share that moment with you here on ProView Sports. You'll notice the runners are beginning the course on a long, wide straightaway. That's part of the design of the course, to kind of have social distancing. So So there it is, the moment high school sports returned to New Mexico. We'll have that moment for you on the inaugural episode of Runners Week, coming your way the first week of March, right here on ProView Sports.